Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Uploaded Tech News Commentary, the flagship podcast of muted laughter. Let us know if that got cut out.
Maybe it won't be now because there's music.
Oh,
I thought of that now, so we'll have to try at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till the music stops, and then I'll just do another laugh. That could be... Oh, that's so silly. That's so silly at times. Anywho.
How are all of you doing, everybody? All of the viewers on fucking YouTube, you dicks who don't download a podcast app.
He's so salty.
I hate that it's successful. I've never been so annoyed at something being successful as with this. I swear to God, if there's one more fucking subscriber showing up or view showing up, I'm gonna flip my shit.
Do it.
I'm furious. I'm so furious inside. So much.
Give it all the likes, all the comments, just to spite him.
Thanks, TX Stock. You're the first person to write a real comment on the last episode. That's pretty cool. Sucks because it's on YouTube, but really cool.
Okay, let's see if that one gets cut out.
That probably got edited out already by the automatic thing, but we'll see. So, yeah. Just to read this comment, because we've got one comment, of course we have to read it. It's written really weirdly. TX Stock, you should, I don't know, install Grammarly, maybe. But the comment was, if Iran... So last episode we talked about Iran having a quantum computer, which in reality was just an ARM development board that you can buy on Amazon.
I can check this as well, can't
I? Yes.
Let me just open that up.
Are you going to read it? You could read it. You try to decipher what TX is trying to say.
By all means, do. Be sure to... I don't have control of this. Give it a like and a heart. That's always good for getting them back. Anyhow, if Iran has a quantum computer ability, then we are actually living in the year 3000. Iran can barely breathe or even sustain the people they hold hostage that they consider citizens. I feel like there's some good points there about the government just being very oppressive, but it's just a hostage situation, with any dictatorial or fascistic government and its citizens if they don't fall in line. But also, I think this is also something of a product of the mind brainwash from the 9/11 early 2000s of just assuming that part of the world is particularly uncivilized or far behind in terms of technology. Super duper incredibly so. The style of the 18th century or something. It's a mix.
Well,
mix.
Where's this person from? A lot of projector videos. A lot of projector videos.
What's it? Anything? Nope. Nothing held for review, and no mentions.
Nothing held for review.
There should have been a mention. I did one with it, but still, yeah, that is a thing. It's we would get a sense that Iran was building up to this kind of thing based on coverage. But this would just be out of the blue, and it was out of the blue, out of a blue bag from Amazon.
That's true. That's absolutely true. That's really funny to me. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, do that? Can we just say, oh, look, we've invented teleportation, and then in reality it's, I don't know, a fucking, an Xbox. You stand in front of this device, and then it's just a Kinect, yeah? But we say it's the quantum dot scanner technology scans you in. We could come up with some dumb shit for this.
The problem is, who would we sell it to?
Some random Silicon Valley douchebag.
Yeah, if it's a trust fund baby with more money than sense, and we could get away with it. Yeah. We could.
Someone who's never seen a game console in their life. Or watched the news, because Kinect was in the news when it came out. Oh my God, I swear to God, people are fucking dumb often.
Oh, that is true.
I hate it.
That is very true.
Okay. So, what's going on with you, Sod? What's happening with Dark Souls 2?
I finally wanted to get around to it. I'm going to be streaming this before, for context, recently wrapped up Sekiro, have played through the majority of Elden Ring, and I feel like a lot of people who this was like either the first and they just know about the DLC, or one of current franchise that they're about to take in, are waiting for that DLC to drop before they finish the game. And I played all of the Dark Souls originally, so it was only a matter of time. I figured it's been like I streamed Dark Souls back in season 1, back when my very first model. We're now in season 3, approaching season 4, and I need to get outfits made up for that.
The bad model times.
Yes. I still liked it, but it was a first attempt from somebody, and again, not to be like in a dismissive way, it's still the same person I'm going to. They have gotten better at each iteration, and it only was a half body at the time, so that also affected like some of the things about it. But yeah, anyhow, did that in season 1, and now we're in season 3, so I figured, okay, it's about time we revisited Dark Souls. Also mainly because I just want to shoot magic again. I miss it. I miss it so much. Also, interesting enough, as I'm coming to this, there's something of a critical reevaluation of Dark Souls 2. While not saying it's like suddenly the best of the series, it's instead of being a black sheep, it's just like different but still good, at least in a lot of people's opinions. As they're like coming across this, having missed it, hearing all the negative reviews, or just like new to From Software because of like Elden Ring or something, they're playing it after playing Dark Souls, and a lot of people liking it. So that is interesting, especially as I was saying, its history previously in gaming history was the black sheep of the Dark Souls franchise. So I'm interested to see what about such critical reappraisal. What else? That's it for that. You don't have Je ne sais quoi, a rambling section yourself, do you?
I had something in mind, and then I didn't put it in and forgot. That's what happens throughout my days. I'm like, oh, cool, this awesome thing happened, or whatever interesting thing happened.
I feel like you just need to keep a notepad at your all times, or have a Word document ready to go, just so you don't forget something.
Oh yeah, I have the case for my phone now. It has a pen. I could use that.
Neat. Use it for what?
Not use for writing down my rambling ideas, or like other ideas. You could swap it out. Maybe I'm going to swap it out. I've had this for
to be fair, it is a bit thin.
Not a week. Oh my god.
Yep, you got the joke I was going for.
It's a bit thin.
Yep.
I'm going to go for another joke, though. Doesn't look that thin to me. No, sleep again. No, sleeping PC turned on. No. I don't want background noise. Shut up. Oh god, no, I need to wait for it to wake up completely. Please, off again. Off. Yeah, I started doing this while I shut the PC off into sleep mode because I record this on the Mac now. Yeah. Some joke about shoving this in your urethra. I don't know. It doesn't look that thin to me for that job. Fucking shit moment. The joke was funny when I thought of it. No. You could remove this.
It was confidence. It was pure confidence, and you lost it the second you dropped it.
You can remove the pen thing. It sucks that the pen doesn't come in this gigantic tablet phone thing that doesn't have space for that, apparently.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Because other Samsung phones definitely have pins built in. Yeah, maybe I'm going to remove that. It has a stand function, so you can prop up the phone when it's folded open and watch things that way. I don't know. I've had this since, I think, Thursday, some late day last week. I've only used the pen like 2 times, 3 times. I don't know. Mostly just for touching on the screen there. So, I've nothing really that interesting happened. If there was something immensely interesting, I probably would have remembered. But then again, I also think that about everything.
Yeah, speaking of immensely interesting things easily missed, I did just remember this and wanted to cover it real quick. Apparently, there was a attempted a coup in Russia. I completely missed that news. Like all the coverage is like, oh, how? Yeah, as I'm sure everybody knows it. Wait, what? I literally just came out to stream to see like a video about it, and it's like, oh, what?
I did know about that.
Yeah. So far, it pretty much seems to be Russia is very unstable right now, given a mercenary group was able to attempt a coup, and basically the only reason a full coup didn't happen was because they made a deal for the Wagner group, I believe they're called, to basically mostly deploy to Africa to go do war crimey stuff. That's not
That's
looking
a new
good.
development that I did not know about that yet.
Yeah, basically they like to go about Africa working with like local governments ain't very good and do like bad things to people. And try and steal resources like a colonial power did back in the 1800s, but to lesser effect. Because there's as much a divide as there was back then in terms of technological capabilities. We all kind of have access to the same stuff now. They're a lot more unified into like countries and whatnot now. It's a whole thing, but they all like doing bad things. So that's not good. Not good at all. But at the same time, this has massively destabilized Russia, so who knows what's going to happen? They got less troops on the front lines now, or ready to aid the front lines. Their morale is entirely decimated. They lost expensive military equipment. They're going to have a change in military leadership. Everything's just going very poorly for us right now, so go Ukraine. May you capitalize this off to the best of your abilities. Capitalize off of this, I should say. Yeah, I kind of feel we just had to at least mention that, because it was like
Okay.
so massive. So massive.
Oh, screen's running off.
About time.
Oh no, 12 minutes in. Time to shut the screen off on its own. Definitely. Have you been following the big thing that happened? Not really a big thing, the small thing that got crushed.
Oh, that as well.
Because I've been really interested in that.
I was showing an example for things behind the scenes I won't mention on stream, but if you look in Discord right now, the video I showed you is like an example. If you just look at that thumbnail real quick. This channel I do love, Internet Today, has been covering it thoroughly. To put in brief, it is hubris incarnate of the lead guy, especially because he was down there, the founder of the company, making this sub.
That dude is insane. Yeah. He's a fucking genius, but also not insane. But like very big on risk.
Well, no, I think like post-mortemly, we can't describe it as insane, given it's like they died instantly due to depressurization. Not even oxygen deprivation.
It just got crushed, literally.
No, not crushed. It was like an implosion due to the pressures. Something cracked.
It's literally called crush depth. When that happens, the depth at which that happens.
I guess I typically think crush is like a thing a creature does to something, whereas at that point it was just like physics taking effect because of the shoddy workmanship. Because they were using, what was it, carbon fiber, if I remember correctly. Which
it was a mixture of three things, actually.
Yeah. All of which is like primarily strong, but not like very bendable to be able to survive like the pressures of the deep sea.
400 atmospheres of pressure, which is wild. The thing is, I started seeing a lot of memes about that. I don't think I like those very much. That's fine. I don't have to like memes. I saw this meme where it started off with, oh yeah, the sub got crushed and now the first parts have been found, and you saw like the actual wreckage that people found of, oh cool, wow, that's where these 5 people died in instantly. And then it switched to a Minecraft video and it said, oh guys, I found it. And it was like someone rebuilt like a vaguely sub-shaped vessel thing on the bottom of the sea in Minecraft. They put like Minecraft heads in the bottom and a sign that said L. I was like, really? I guess that's funny, but that's the most instant disrespectful shit that I've seen. No, is that your first reaction? Is that your first reaction to when people die?
Again, like, this is like the peak of hubris. It's not just, breaking news. 5 people are just shot in the street. Which again, like there can be some morbid humor there, but this is like the incarnate of hubris. So, like, I honest to goodness, like there was so many details I can't just pull off the top of my head. But everybody in the submersive community that was like doing this kind of stuff knew how dangerous OceansGate was and was like constantly telling them you needed to do it. And there's a quote from the guy that at a certain point, safety precautions are just a waste of time.
Yeah.
I give that as a post-mortem quote is insane. There's every reason to mark this guy and the genuine hubristic nature of this and pointing out comparisons. Oh, we spent millions of dollars on a search and rescue effort, despite the fact that, oddly enough, James Cameron and the US military knew straight away they were just dead. And meanwhile, there was like a migrant vessel that sank with 70 people on it, and no news coverage was given to it, or what's it?
I thought it was 700, and only 100 something were found. Yeah.
Oh god, that's even worse.
That's actually also bad.
Yeah, it's okay. There's jokes there, or just like the morbidness of it. The thing I was like getting at that I missed, but somebody else covered, is just like a bunch of, again, I do describe myself as very left leaning. But there's a certain analytical framework you have to go through that is like why certain people are bad and so on and so forth. And people are just cutting to the chase saying all rich people bad, good rich people died, which again ain't great, especially because one of the people on there was just a 19-year-old kid who was there because it was Father's Day and his father guilted him into it. So it's I feel the most bad for. I feel bad for the other people as well, except for the CEO, basically. Yeah,
but then I've watched much content about it of people who like went to OceansGate and tried doing these things, but actually couldn't go down. There was this one dude who just filmed his experience with the company, and everybody's nice. Everything seems fairly serious.
Well, everybody was nice because he was hiring younger people with less experience that were more personable, because everybody with like qualified experience to be doing all this stuff that you'd want to hire was saying, no, this is way too dangerous. You're going to get somebody killed.
Yeah, but that's why I don't blame the people that died now on it. I've seen people who are like, oh, obviously they're morons. No, if you watch how Stockton Rush, the CEO, interacts with people, he's like mad confident in it. He's so hyped about it. He's really interested in it. He's really passionate about it.
Yeah, and
it's just that his risk factor, what he accepts, is just insane compared to most people.
No, it's not even like that. It's like experts were telling him this is dangerous. This won't last the way it will.
Yeah.
He was just ignoring them and doing. That's idiocy at that point. And also, he was bragging about, I can't remember.
But was he ignoring them on purpose,
finish this,
though? Or just because he was really passionate and thought it was fine because he designed it himself?
No, at a certain point, if like everybody else is telling you and you don't reevaluate, at a certain point, there's no difference. You are just an idiot. And also, he was bragging about how he got like discounted carbon fiber from like Cornea or something that was past its use-by date.
Well, that's not good. Obviously, we did many dumb things.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for him.
He built his own aeroplanes.
Yeah,
he has no sympathy. Actual engineering work. Like, he's not dumb. Just in that case, you can be smart, but also really dumb at the same time. I do realize that.
Yeah, like you can, in a very specific sense of a certain set of knowledge, be intelligent, but in a broader sense, be a fucking moron, lacking like basic wisdom or foresight. Because like he was just focusing about this being very strong, but not really stress testing it at all, thinking it would just be stronger to survive it. When like you actually think about like constantly being pushed under pressure and then taken out of it, contracting, expanding. The fiber carbon is a very brittle material, not giving way to much bend. So eventually this thing was going to happen at some point.
That's facts that I don't think regular people are going to know anyways. Like how on actual deep sea subs, you aren't even allowed to have metal belt buckles because it's literally just a scratch. It's going to invalidate the whole thing and cause it
Yeah.
to not be able to dive as deep as it's supposed to.
Yeah, but like,
Who's
again,
going to know that if you don't do that?
he's an
research?
engineer.
Well, yeah,
He's-
he is. But the
That's
people
what I'm
that went
saying.
on it just wanted to look at the Titanic because that's fucking epic. Of course,
I know, but like, he as an engineer is what I'm saying, should have known this, or at least
Yeah.
taken the caution from everybody else around him.
But he didn't.
And if I will say, I would just want to get to the point. I don't know enough about the billionaires to really pass like any kind of like moral judgments against them. There's odds of them being like horrible people, but it could also be they're just kind of falling into positions of life dictated by like where their parents fell into and what they pushed them to do without really much thought or desire to change off the course. That doesn't make them fully evil or anything, but like it gets into a whole complicated thing. This guy, the head guy, is a moron that I'm sure is like burning somewhere at this point for hubris getting like so many people killed, including himself. And like, again, the kid didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
His father guilt tripped him into it. Which, again, I dare say if it's like you're guilt tripping your son into doing something for you for Father's Day that they think is unsafe and they don't want to do, that is something I can pass some moral judgment on. I don't know enough about the rest of you, but find something you can both enjoy to do together on Father's Day, not just for you if you want it to be a bonding experience. Because the kid is not going to enjoy it. He's just going to be, okay, that's the day of my life I'm never getting back, whilst you're having a good time. Maybe do that any other day of the year for yourself. Like, in retrospect, if he had done that, the kid would have lived. Actually, no, he would have lived as well, because he would have been on this trip that went poof. Oh, and did you hear about this one thing as well? They were using Bluetooth to control this thing. A Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, I don't think using a controller is that bad.
No, like,
They
a
should
lot
have
of things
used a
do.
modified controller for it, not just regular controllers. I think it was
Yeah,
like
but
a
no,
random.
even more than that, it was just Bluetooth.
Don't use wireless
like,
things.
There's a non-zero chance that all this was caused by the battery in the controller dying and them not having a backup. There's a non-zero chance that's what led them to
Probably not.
collide
I mean,
with
that-
something. Again,
Well,
not
I guess that-
super
that-
likely.
Maybe.
Non-zero.
I don't even
It's a
like wireless
possibility.
controllers on the planet's surface. I hate them already. I just plug it in. I don't even have batteries in this, I think.
I mean, I have the wireless controllers, but they're plugged in all the time to reduce like the input delay for when I'm streaming because I'm already
Yeah.
going to a capture card, so I don't want the control on top of that. And for long streams, it just ensures the battery doesn't die. So it's
I've watched so much footage of Stockton, and I think at some point I realized, holy shit, if I like had an interest in like underwater shit, he could probably very much convince me to get into that thing.
Yeah,
Or
if
could
you're not
have.
if you're not naturally
I
a
think-
skeptical
I
or
think
critical
if I
person,
see like dumb shit, I'm gonna call it out. And I think I would have. Oh look, you used the rusty pipes to sink down the fucking ship. Really? Is that the only way?
Oh.
And then he would have just gone, yeah, but we have 7 other ways to control the buoyancy of the ship. And then he explains all of that, like the little
Yeah, like I was saying, like,
little ballast sacks with a thread that dissolves in salt
Yeah.
water. So after 16 hours, it like starts going up on its own, even if everybody like passes out and shit. That's smart. He did put thought into it, just not enough and not the correct.
again, it's not the fact that it's not enough. Again, he was like deliberately ignoring like every other. It was an inside joke. Oh yeah, they're gonna get somebody killed eventually by literally everybody else in the same industry as OceanGate doing the same things. It's like James Cameron has gone down just as many times, if not more, than this guy has in a personal submersible about the same size, but it could only just barely hold the one person because it was surrounded by other vital and essential equipment.
Yeah.
And just to say my last point on this, unless you are like a naturally skeptical and critical person about these things, like someone with that amount of confidence and that perceived like authority by having a degree in engineering and like all his other credentials, yeah, obviously if he's like this confident, he can like easily persuade you unless you are very cautious. Again, the best thing you can ever remember is like, no matter how smart you are, no matter how wise you are, that does not prevent you from being a dumbass, at least from time to time.
Yeah.
Always assume you can be a dumbass, you can be hoodwinked, and you're a lot more cautious than you would be otherwise. Never assume you're too smart or clever for something to work on you.
I don't think I would have gotten onto that based purely on how small it is. I don't like small spaces. If I didn't have that problem, I think he could have convinced me. Not easily, but he very much could have.
I don't think I would go on a personal, that mini sub, maybe a larger one that I thought was safer, but not one of those sizes, just for the sheer fact that I can't swim. I know, again, at that point...
That's not the concern. So.
I know, at that point, like, you just get crushed if anything does go wrong, whereas I can't swim. I like to stay away from water for that reason. I can't float. I can swim, but as soon as I stop, I sink. I'm typically very averse to water, and thus this has no appeal to me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I get that. Yeah. Not a
it's
good
just
point
like,
against
oh yeah,
sub.
yeah, I know it's that entirely irrational, but
no, I cannot
rational for different reasons.
Never get into a car.
Yeah, and that will likely get you out of a dangerous situation, especially if you're in a Tesla.
Oh my god, yeah. Bottom line, I don't think any of those people deserve to die. Seems to me in some memes that it seems like people like that billionaires died. I don't know anything about the people on there. I don't think anyone deserves to die for no reason other than someone else being a dumbass. I don't think Stockton deserved to die without getting fucked in the ass for this bullshit.
No, him dying is how he got fucked in the ass for this bullshit.
No, not enough though. I don't think death penalty is better than life in prison forever.
Again, I wouldn't want him to get the death penalty. It's just solely because, like, he was so hubristic about this and so overconfident in his bad work that he was taking the subs down himself and ended up dying because of it.
Where's the punishment in that, though? Where's the suffering? That's not there.
It's not about suffering. It's about making sure he can't cause any further harm to society and then trying to rehabilitate him. We can't do the second part of that, but he has lost all ability to do harm at this point. As for the other 3 passengers that was a 19-year-old kid, I don't know enough about them. It was like $250,000 per ticket. It's not impossible to be a good person while having also that kind of money to throw about.
Yeah.
It's not possible. It's just like, odds are probably you've done some bad things, even if there is like some
odds are some like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, it's like that. To be that rich, you have to do shit like Jeff Bezos or Bobby Kotick, and they're both like monstrous people. If the two of those people are on the sub instead of the kid and the father, the world would be a far better place, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's okay, odds are the other 3 aren't super great, but you bring up reasons. Present me horrible things they did to feel like justified and happy that they're dead now. Don't just say, oh, billionaires, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Yes, there's odds on there's reasons.
Make you evil,
odds. Yeah, inherently. There's odds to get that rich and wealthy, though we are like a capitalist society that seeks to create such people. So all I'm saying is just don't say billionaires and be done with that. Actually put in the moral and ethical consideration to say, okay, yeah, no, these people were awful. Not just awful for the sake of being billionaires, but the way they became billionaires was deeply unethical and immoral. Like Bobby Kotick or Jeff Bezos. Don't be lazy is what I'm saying.
One fact that I think people overlook or don't even know about is actually that the OceansGate people, or the plan for the Titan in the long run, was actually to sell it to oil and gas giants, because they have gigantic budgets for like exploration and surveying. And basically the whole reason that he's even done these, let's go and see the Titanic things, was to test out as like a beta test for the Titan design. So You could say it's smart if it had been safe. That's a smart way to make some extra money and actually get a track record of it working.
Silas, you have to contradict at this
But
point. Everybody else told him it wasn't safe. We can't indulge it has been. He wasn't. We can't keep saying, oh, if he had done so.
Of course, that's the problem. Of course, that's the problem. But I also just want to say that again because that's a smart idea.
Not really, because you're using paying customers as guinea pigs.
Companies
you should be paying
do that
people
all the time, though.
That does not.
I mean, maybe that's
okay.
maybe that. Yeah, I guess so. I think it is. I've bought Interlark. People bought NVIDIA graphics cards with a connector that catches fire if you plug it in slightly wrong. Ooh.
Yeah, I dare say they should pay to stress test these things before they ever release it on the market. Like with your Arc thing that catches on fire, or this sub that they refuse.
Catches on fire.
My apologies. NVIDIA that catches on fire. And what's it? The sub that wasn't stress tested properly because the guy just outright refused to do it and just wanted to go down and up without being 100% sure it was safe. So,
what if he sold it as the best way for suicide? Instantly getting crushed within 0.1 seconds. Not knowing. I guess not knowing when it happens is the bad part. Or if it happens at all.
That is, it also sounds like quite a violent way to go and leaves no remains for the family.
Yeah, but you don't know it happened.
Yeah, but you know how you will go out.
Yeah, that makes it horrible. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. That was a joke idea. I'm joining in with the memes. Oh no.
Yeah. Again, the memes are just
oh god.
The hubris of it all. Whereas I'm talking about people actually morally defending their death solely for the sake of being billionaires.
Yeah.
That's what the issue is. People, there's always those with a dark sense of humor. Full disclosure, I was very suicidal as a kid, constantly main road by my house where trucks were going by. Every time I saw one of them, it's go. They're just an easy 1-2 skidoo off this mortal coil. And dark humor did help me survive and get out of that. So always keep that in mind. It's some of these people who are making jest of these dark things happening all over the place, some of them had to make these jokes to survive and get over their own traumas. So always keep that in mind whenever you feel uncomfortable about dark humor. Sometimes it's people who have actually suffered through these things or stuff like it, whereas you're just somebody who doesn't like dark humor.
I like dark humor, but not literally days after someone. Okay.
I was the audience in general.
That was in general, yeah, but personally, I liked humor, just not immediately after someone died.
I don't know. Personally, I don't know if I told this story on the podcast before, but before my mother was going to get cremated, last thing I said was I'd offer her a cold drink, but that'd be a health and safety hazard for the people cremating her, popping in there. So I have to just deal with the heat. And that did help. I feel like
that's a personal thing, though. I think that's more fine because you know the people. Whereas this is an accident. This is an accident, and the images come out of the little crushed fucking toy submarine thing.
Again, it's
presumably people's smushed up insides in it.
Oh no, not even that. At that point, you are just mush that has been washed out to sea.
Hopefully, I don't want that to be on TikTok, even if you can't know what it is and see it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that time that I saw someone flush a hamster down the toilet on TikTok. Fucking garbage website.
Oh.
I know someone who saw literally a live stream. I don't know if it was a live stream or a video of someone literally shooting their head with a gun.
What?
And actually killing themselves on TikTok. I know someone, a very close person to me, who actually saw that. They were fucked in the head for 2 months.
Jesus, that's even content moderation can't stop you there.
And that was from what he described, for real, really bad. With things being splattered around. And yeah, I did not like the video of the little hamster trying to swim in the toilet. I thought that was stupid already. But then he literally got flushed down.
Oh god, I feel like we're drifting into different territory of gore content on TikTok,
Yeah,
as opposed to just like dark humor about.
don't use that website. Some
Again,
people think
Cuba's
that's
death.
funny though. Some people like watching those kind of things. Laugh at the morons who, I don't know, moron hamster. Why
Well-
did the hamster choose this person to live with?
No, that's just they don't get a choice in that. That's just animal cruelty there.
Yeah, that's just
and the other one
sucks.
is just suicide. What was I thinking? If you're feeling that way, talk to friends and family that you trust and love,
Yeah,
and call the suicide hotline for help and support in your nation. A quick Google will get you the number for your particular locale. We live in different countries, so it's like Ireland, the US, our listeners are, Germany. There's just a bunch of places where you can find help and assistance. Please do. Again, keep in mind, your brain is trying to make you think it's the worst and there's no way out. But things can always get better and plateau. Even if they're not like magical improvements, things can still improve. So do keep that in mind. Some closing thoughts on the last story. We got swept up by this, but dark humor I approve of. I have used it myself to get by in life with my own hardships. Making a joke out of things and laughing at things makes it a lot easier.
Get by in life. Sorry, I apologize. That's funny. To me, it is. Especially because
Silas over there.
Yeah, I had someone
Two
else
S names. I keep
just
going.
turned out bi. Someone else I know turned out to be bi now.
You mean just came out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. But anyhow, dark humor, okay. If you want to hate specific billionaires, bring up the reasons for it and point that out to justify like some actual like gleeful specific joy from them specifically being dead, just don't be lazy and say, we're billionaires, so let's say that's class warfare. It's not. It has to be either directly related to it or like them being genuine awful people to justify it, not just simply them being billionaires. It gives a statistical likelihood to it, but it's not 100%.
Yeah.
What's this about? What's it? IRL shutting down startup admin there? What's that?
So I was doing the doc with Merrick yesterday because I kept bored doing that on my own. He found this. I don't know what this app is. I don't remember anymore. It was like a new social media app, I think they called themselves. Fantastic. Because the name is IRL.
Mm-hmm. That's not going to get confusing.
Company naming schemes nowadays. They just come up with the worst names out of everything. Yeah, and they raised $200 million from SoftBank, for example, who are the people who invested in Alibaba, which is like China's Amazon now. But then they also invested in things like WeWork, which sucks. So SoftBank is, their vision fund is like pretty much random if it's good or not. They also invested in Arm, very good. But yeah, so this was a messaging app. Let's see if I can pull up like a website. IRL app. Let's see what comes up then. IRL, social messenger. Oh, okay. It's already gone from Google Play. Do more together. Your place to discover groups and events. Yeah, so it's what people do on Facebook. And on, I guess, everywhere, because it's like calendar and you can put events there and message people. That's the gist of it. And this app was that good that they had a $1.2 billion evaluation.
Okay.
And yeah, it turns out 95% of the claimed user base that they had was fake. Not real.
Fake it till you make
made
it.
up users. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane to me. Let's see if I can find another article, because this one is paywalled.
Yep. Again, something I have issues with is like any right-leaning stuff will give you the info for free, trying to buy you into the ideology, whereas like so much of the left-leaning stuff, or even just centrist stuff, is paywalled. That's ensuring like more people are to find and read the right-leaning stuff. So yay, thank you very much for that. Anywho, did you manage to find another article?
I found another article, but that's like weird things in this. Are these quotes from who is Rami? Who is this? Sounds like an Indian name. So, no, not Rami, Shafi. Okay. Former CEO and founder Abraham Shafi, maybe not Indian then, if it's Abraham, I don't know. Racial profiling based on a name. Uploaded podcast, everybody.
You're
There's a quote there
trouble.
where it says, become one of these iconic, impactful companies is akin to winning a gold medal in the Olympics. In fact, probably more challenging. He wrote in a memo. Oh, yeah, that's true. Making a successful company probably is more harder than gold medal in the Olympics.
And
then,
I don't know.
like the Olympics, we know most people don't want to be Olympians. What is going on with him? In the same way, not everyone will want to walk the path we are walking. But for those that want to push their limits and find out what they are capable of, the culture is for you. Okay, cool.
That's baffling. And
they say they had more than enough cash to last into 2024, apparently.
The fake user base.
Yeah. Apparently, 95% of the app's reported 20 million users were automated or from bots. And I looked at the Google Play reviews for this, and like it almost only had 5 stars and almost only 1 stars. There was nothing in between. That's a big problem.
That's review bottom right there.
So, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a shit app. Nothing happens on it. Yeah.
I will say, it's pretty hard to become a gold medal, Olympian, mainly because not only the work you have to put in yourself, but other people putting in that same work, competing with you in a given field. I dare say it is like probably comparable to actually setting up a successful company. It's just like the end results are like a bit different in terms of like how much money is made at the end of the day. And like how long you can be in a business versus like how long you can be a gold athlete. What is any kind of athlete?
From the Middle East he is, apparently. Looks like his Twitter account also doesn't exist anymore. I wonder why.
Oh, I can imagine.
You can see the Twitter bio. It still says, on Google, it still says Abraham Shafi is the millennial co-founder of IRL, an app less than 3 years old that is worth 1.1 billion. Has 3 strategies of scaling and leading. No. That's pretty funny. Don't lie about your numbers, people. It doesn't end well. It basically never does. Oh, God. Okay.
This is just sad.
Apparently, WhatsApp, for example, got to 450 million users, only with 55 employees working on it. So that's definitely possible. Being big without many people. Not if you lie, though. Not if you lie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So
pretty bad.
That's it for that tiny thing. I was just pissed off that this app was called IRL. That's the main reason why I was like, oh yeah, include this. And then they did stupid shit. Cool. Nice. Allegedly stupid shit. Real because it's shut down. So let's move on, shall we?
That we should. Where was I?
Number 1 that I've selected. We're only 2 topics today because of really long text again.
Let's be honest, it's probably the second topic after the sub thing.
I guess, yeah. So we have a Verge article here, which is called YouTube reportedly tests adding playable games to its video platform. Cool.
Oh, no, this is entirely... I thought it was going to be the A-B testing thing that we were talking about.
I don't think that's interesting enough.
I'll at least mention it.
Okay.
YouTube is probably going to bring some... Basically what a lot of YouTubers do, not myself, because I just can't... Once again, idea in my head for a thumbnail, I can't see anything else. A lot of the people like A-B test with a few different varieties of a thumbnail for a video and try and get either feedback or they like hot switch it within the first couple of hours of release to see what's most effective.
Yeah.
And this is basically going to be a feature where you can upload more than one and see what percentage of people are coming based on a given thumbnail. But like even in the example they gave, I was like, this is different flavors of Coca-Cola situation where it's okay, there's so much interest in there's a leader, but there's like enough interest in the other ones as well that it's still worthwhile putting it out there. And it's probably just going to lead to a new meta on YouTube where you're just like YouTube auto cycles like through 2 or 3 thumbnails for you to try and catch people in, and then people are going to stop making complementary thumbnails to each other that play in as you cycle. It's going to be a whole thing.
Is that bad though? I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's actually smart.
It's just not what I'm into, but yeah, it probably will
Not
be effective.
Not everybody's going to
people do
respond
it.
to the same thumbnail though.
I know, but it's going to start playing to all 3, and then people are going to like metagame that. It's going to be like, it's going to be effective, but I'm not here for it. It's the same way people like snip out a good point from like late in the video and play it at the start to try and get people hooked in straight away. I effing hate that, but it's also fairly effective, so I gotta start doing it more on my own videos.
Interesting that you hate.
I really hate it because it's sometimes it's like from fairly on the video within like the first 2 minutes, so it's like, why? This would be the first like minute maybe if you didn't put double over the clip. No, first 2 minutes of once the video actually properly starts. But you get my point. It's like, why? I could understand maybe if it's like a highlight point from like 40 minutes into an hour like long video, I could understand that. But if it's a 10-minute video and you're going for something that's within the first 3 minutes, it's like, why? Anyway, what's this about playable games to its video platform?
Here's a quick recommendation for everybody who's interested to visit, which is called killedbygoogle.com. Just go to that and see all the things that Google has shut down.
Welcome Stadia.
This one is going to be one of those, I'll tell you that much. They just shut down Google domains where you can buy website domains from. That was literally a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old project. They started that in 2014. And that doesn't seem like a thing that's too expensive to run because every fucking website has, every like website builder thing has domain buying in it as well. Yeah,
maybe it wasn't like super expensive, but just not enough people using that
they're
from
killing
YouTube.
Google domains. I think that's not
Google.
I think that's the thing that Google likes data, and this didn't give them a lot of data and not enough money to keep doing it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that not only do Google kill new things, they also kill 10-year-old things. So
basically, if it doesn't make them a buttload of money, even if it is profitable,
or
still
give
likely
them
to kill
data.
it off.
They want all data.
They want all the data. All right, up there as deep
I
as
think
you can
that,
get
I mean,
it.
they get data like your name and your address and your credit card. And
yeah, but it's not enough for them. They want everything.
That's not data, though. That's just information. But anyways, let's see how long this lasts. From Verge.com, Playables is a new feature in development for YouTube that could add interactive games to the video platform, the Wall Street Journal reports. Hang on.
Yeah.
This is the only fucking website where you can actually hold the control key and zoom in with the Mac. That's amazing. Is that the Office thing we use for this? I just got surprised by that. That caught me off guard.
Okay.
The feature was apparently detailed in an email Google sent to its employees asking them to test it. Games could either be playable via YouTube app on iOS and Android or through the browser on desktop. Opinion already? You sound like you have things to say. Sod.
It feels like on the base level, this could end up being more successful than Stadia because that was a separate app you had to download, whereas this will just be integrated to the YouTube app, which billions of people, well, over 1 billion people already have on their phone or other things.
That was the point of Stadia, though. That's like what they advertised, how in the future you'll be able to... Did they ever do that? Let's see. No, they never did that. They just said they would, and then apparently they abandoned. The idea was for Stadia to be integrated into YouTube and other websites as well, so you could watch a video, like a review of a game, and then click a button and immediately play it, which would have been awesome, but they never did that.
Yeah, that's especially like how many Let's Plays are on YouTube as well, that being a very popular niche that, fun fact, YouTube itself actually tried to kneecap and limit its reach, but people like them so much, it still is popular. And keep in mind, they never did that. They never, at least never announced that. They did kneecap it at some point, so Let's Plays are big as they are with that restriction in place. Possibly still to this day. Oh, Lord only knows how many views people would actually be getting if they either never did that or even just undid it. Because they were like, oh, what we don't want our platform to be associated with nerds. We want it for everybody to enjoy. But it turns out a whole lot of people enjoy playing video games. If you just look at the sales of the Wii, the PS2, the Switch, it's, oh yeah, that's a lot of people all over the world. And for other consoles as well. Yeah, a lot of people playing video games and Steam as well. So it's very executive in the 50s thinking there without any touch to the common interest of the common man.
Let's Play is still a big thing though, really? Unedited Let's Plays.
No, there was even back in the day, there was still some editing of dead segments. People were like, okay, yeah, I didn't do a lot here, so we'll just cut to where it gets interesting again.
Yeah, so I feel like that niche has been taken over by live streams there, at least from my experience and from what I can see from the Let's Play people that I used to watch. How they all went from hundreds of thousands of views to sometimes not even getting 10. The ones who still do Let's Plays, but maybe that's on them. I don't know.
Kind of
or they've switched content styles and do editing and other things now as well, gaming based. But
I know what to say. I literally have seen the rise of what's a Let's Play channel that does all pre-recorded stuff with some editing, but minimal. They still do some things. For the most part, it's the majority of the editing is cutting out dead bits and maybe a little bit of fluff there. It's Sim Bailey, if you want to check it out. They did a Let's Play of God of War, I think. Je ne sais quoi. It was Bloodborne, thank you. There we are. And going through Dark Souls right now. So, yeah. They also
don't know how you write that name. You have to send that to me. I want to look at that now.
Hold on. Let me do just...
All the Let's Play light content that I watch now is basically just Minecraft stuff. But then that's a week of work edited into a 10-minute video. I don't know. I don't watch pure Let's Plays anymore. I used to watch that a lot. I used to make those.
Yeah, there's still interest there. And I will say, YouTube had, at least in the past, kneecapped the feature due to some old-fashioned thinking. So it's, keep that in mind.
And it did look like YouTube was becoming a gaming platform at some point. If you look at the early 2010s, I think.
But that's what the user base wanted. That's what the people most active on the platform were watching and liking.
Yeah, but that's not very many people compared to everybody.
I know, but I don't want to tell you. The people coming here to your platform and engage with watching gaming content, then if so facto, just by the sheer people coming in here, your gaming platform. I don't know what to say.
Oh, okay. I guess so, yeah.
And I will, gaming content either through live streams, Let's Plays, reviews, or anything else really. It's still massively popular. A lot of people still do them, even more than I follow, of course, that I could ever possibly watch, are engaged with it, and it's still doing successful. Even popping up out of the blue years after the fact. So it's
good for those people. Nice. And the Wall Street Journal's report only contains details on one game the service could include. Stack Bounds. You will never guess what that is. It describes as an arcade game in which players attempt to smash layers of bricks with a bouncing ball. Sounds a little bit like the Atari classic Breakout to me, but it's hard to tell without seeing screenshots.
Personally, based on the name, I would have thought it was just a pack of twinks just forming a tower and bouncing up and down in and out of each other.
Stack Bounds? I guess so. That's one I would rather play than Breakout. Breakout is awesome, but do you really need another version of it in YouTube? No. In a statement, YouTube declined to confirm the existence of the initiative. with a quote that says, "Gaming has long been a focus at YouTube," spokesperson Alex McQuiston said.
Which is why you decapped it, you
we're always
pieces of...
experimenting with new features, but have nothing to announce right now. YouTube's test of playables comes as social media companies have rolled back their previous investments in gaming. ByteDance. How do I say dance? I guess I say it. I don't know.
No, that sounds right.
ByteDance.
Nothing that I'm thinking is wrong there.
Yeah, but just thinking about what accent to use for that word specifically.
What is ByteDance? What is
the people who own TikTok?
Oh, yeah.
ByteDance reportedly aggressively downsized its gaming operations last year after earlier experiments with adding simple games to TikTok. I've seen that. I think one singular time I've seen a game on TikTok and I was just confused. I thought that was like an ad that's like trying to get you to click it so it opens a link. That's what I thought it was. I didn't know that was real.
It's not unwise to think that. A lot of those ads do try and do that.
Yeah. If you're on like phone shit, yeah, it's awful. Around the same time, Snap, that's the people who make Snapchat, so you don't get confused again by the company name being different. Snap also, although with Snap it's more obvious, Snap also said it would be cutting its investment in games. However,
I'm just surprised Snapchat is still a thing.
They're doing not bad.
Okay.
However, Netflix's push to include games for free with subscriptions is ongoing. And the company is also working on a cloud game streaming service. YouTube already boasts a large library of gaming content that includes both live streams and pre-recorded videos. Google even attempted to spin this content out into its own app in 2015 with the launch of YouTube Gaming, which was discontinued in 2019 after the company admitted it caused a lot of brand confusion.
And
I liked it. I like YouTube Gaming, actually. I used it.
I don't know. Like, why does... Again, it's like they wanted YouTube to appeal to, air quote, the normies, without understanding just how many people were actually like invested and interested in either video games directly themselves or just appreciate watching the content spun off from that, from cosplays to like little, death battles or similar content, or just like watching the streamers or let's players themselves go through a game, or like music. There's just so much content spun off from that. Like, where do you put like a cosplay of like Julie Han or something from Street Fighter 6? Would that have gone on YouTube Gaming or just regular YouTube? Where does that go?
I think, if I remember correctly, the things would show up on both. If you selected gaming as the category, it would appear on normal YouTube and on YouTube Gaming. It's just on YouTube Gaming, things that were not in the gaming category wouldn't show up there. The weird thing was, you could send someone a link to gaming.youtube.com/the ID and stuff like watch, blah, blah, blah. And you could also send someone normal youtube.com link, and it would be the same exact stream, same exact chat, just with a different UI. And I don't know why they decided to do it like that. Feels either half-assed to or like them just being confused about how to actually do this. Because you watch both videos.
It's not confused on how to do it. It's just an executive who did not want the platform to get the stank of gaming on them, despite the fact that a lot of people like gaming. You just have to accept, like, a lot of the people making these decisions are like quite older and out of touch and have like weird stigmas from like 20 to 30 years ago that nobody really adheres to anymore. But because they're an executive, they can have massive sweeping impacts based on them. It's just a thing we have to deal and live with.
Yeah, so that's maybe coming. I thought that was interesting. I've not played a game on Netflix.
Yeah. I will say mainly because they haven't, it's all been like original stuff. They haven't really licensed out anything to be on that service, so that's something of a pain. But that kind of makes sense. They're kind of like the subscription service, like media content, so it kind of makes sense they would branch out into video games as well. You just need to get some good ones under the belt and maybe get, I don't know, Dead Cells or what's it, Hades on there for people, but whatevs.
Not even logged in on Netflix. Literally not even logged in.
Let us move on to topic, I suppose this is number 3. Irish government criticized over proposed law change that would muzzle big tech critics. Oh no. An 11th hour amendment to, this is from TechCrunch.com. An 11th hour amendment to the Government of Ireland's Court and Civil Law Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2022 will serve to muzzle people looking to speak out about how big tech companies and public bodies are misusing the data. Oh, you... give me some more water.
It does look pretty funny when you drink. That looks pretty funny.
Yep, I have to tilt up to get the water down and it makes it go.
Yeah, funny looking.
It is. Anyhow, that's according to Civil Liberties and Human Rights non-profit, the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, ICL, which is calling on politicians to veto the amendment when they're presented for debate in Parliament on Wednesday this week. Oh, and this is Thursday. Eek. We're a bit late on this, I think. Oh, as its introduction of the GDPR...
We record on Tuesday, people, right now. We're recording on Tuesday, just saying.
Oh, yeah, just when the podcast goes out, I was thinking.
It does release on Thursdays, usually.
Yeah, since the introduction of the GDPR back in 2018, Ireland has emerged as a primary enforcer of Europe's data privacy regulations, due in large part to the fact that most of the major US tech companies have their European subsidiaries on the Emerald Isle. Wait, let me guess, there's probably a recent influx of people in charge in Ireland, isn't there? I don't pay attention as much as I should compared to American politics. That's probably a cause of this. Delightful. Not far right, but at least
far immediately go to Nazis.
No, that's kind of what it's become.
Oh my god!
It's
that's pretty funny.
Basically, anyone who isn't tied to any form of moderacy whatsoever is far that's been taken up by again. Like Silas says, Nazis nowadays. They're on the cutback tour, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but yeah, you don't have to be that extreme to also be still. Far.
Yeah, but that's what my head went to. That's what it sounded like to me. That's why I laughed, because I thought that idea was funny. You say oh no, the Nazis have arrived. They must be on course for this.
You could say that back in 2014.
You can say that about shockingly many times, actually. In many countries. Not good, but probably keep going. We don't need to derail us more.
Yeah, anyhow, GDPR in a nutshell, is designed to give citizens control of their data and the ability to hold companies to account through greater transparency and appropriate legal remedies should they mistreat their users' personal information. Prominent data privacy advocates and activists have used GDPR to do just that, including the ICL and Austrian lawyer Max Schrems, who has filed numerous complaints against the likes of Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Facebook's parent Meta over the handling and transferring of user data. But with the proposed amendment by Ireland's government, this could silence any meaningful critique both of billion-dollar companies and the Irish Data Protection Commission, DPC, itself. Oh, the poor billionaires. When would they ever get somebody fighting in their corner outside of all the politicians they buy? Christ's sake. Need to be taxed more, for goodness sake. Anyhow, quote, Ireland's enforcement of the GDPR against big tech companies and how it upholds the data rights of everyone in Europe should not be the subject of an 11th-hour amendment inserted during the end-of-term legislative rush. ICL Senior Fellow Dr. Johnny Ryan. Really? Okay. As said in the statement.
Why, really? Why?
Just kind of two first names, except the last one is Johnny, not Jonathan or something. It's just, okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Like official
Typical
full legal
Irish
name.
name. That's a lie. That's a joke.
Yeah. Anyhow, what's the air quotes confidential information? The amendment proposes a new section 26A for the Data Protection Act 2018, which would prohibit the disclosure of confidential information revealed at any point during a complaint's interaction with the DPCR. So, example, an activist or advocate or citizen filing a complaint would not be able to reveal key details of the complaint to the general public. What? E.g., the media, if that information has been deemed confidential by the DPC itself. Even if it's their confidential information. That is a muzzle on free speech right there. God help us if that law passes. It's not entirely clear what kind of information could be classed as confidential, but it seems fairly broad. That's the entire point. Whenever a law is like particularly non-specific and overly broad, it is only going to be selectively applied just to benefit like the in-group who legislated for that law to be in place. It happens every time. You can see it like throughout history, like any law, like for the sake of like big business or just targeting minorities. They're always overly broad, could apply to literally anyone and anything, but only get applied in a very certain and specific way. It seems fairly broad, encompassing commercially sensitive could damage the business. Sensitive information, any information that has been given in confidence. What does that even mean? Or information that would reasonably be expected to prejudice the effectiveness and performance of a relative function. Yeah, just any complaint. This is what's the thing I'm like thinking of that actors or what's it like things have to sign? Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, basically stop you from even just bad-mouthing a company, even if they have been awful to you. That is an overreach of what they're supposed to do. This is too far. This is far too far. Oh, it doesn't say that. Anyhow, according to the ICCL, if this amendment is green lighted,
is that how you write it? That's not how. Yeah,
it should be green lit, not lighted, as in past tense. But whatever. It would make it impossible for journalists to properly report on Ireland's GDPR supervision of big tech firms or any organization that counts Ireland as the European base. That includes Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and TikTok. Yeah, that is just abuse of power right there. Christ alive, that should not be allowed. Anyhow, justice should be done in public, Ryan said. The DPC should be holding public GDPR here. Yeah, that they should. Shame them and hold them to account. They want this hidden away so people don't get worked up about it because they don't see it. It has to be publicly available for people to observe and get mad at to have a proper effect. They are just trying to like turn the heat down on themselves so people don't get worked up into a boil. Anyhow, the government is attempting to make a DPC decisions making even more opaque. Yeah, no, it should never be opaque. It should always be crystal clear how these things are happening and why. Anyhow, none of your business, an Australian-based non-profit co-founded by Mac Screm in 2017, also commented on the proposed amendment, saying that big tech companies and the DPC want privacy for themselves by preventing people from simply talking about the specifics of a complaint. You cannot criticize an authority or big company if you're not allowed to say what's going on in a procedure, Scrim is said. By declaring every tiny information confidential, they try and hinder public discourse and reporting. Yep, instead of reacting to legitimate criticism, they now try to criminalize it. Again, this is actually like deeply worrying. Oh, fuck Ireland right now, am I right? That is not something that should be happening. The proposed law in Ireland makes it criminal to share any information on a procedure. This shows that they fear the public and reporters more than anything. The law would, however, allow DPC to selectively share information when it sees fit. It is mind-blowing that this would happen in a European country. has reached out to DPC for comment and will update here when we hear back. So, who knows? Let's do, where's this article? Just real quick. It's been... Okay, click here. There we are. Scroll down to the bottom.
Doesn't look like anything happened yet.
To clarify, it seems like nothing like major, no further comments, so this is bad. This is really bad and should not be allowed. Again, the article says it pretty well, but they are just trying to make the whole process and procedure more opaque so people have less facts to like grasp onto and like justifiably get mad at and want what's it recourse to be done. They are trying to control the narrative by criminalizing, discussing any of the specifics of a given grievance or complaint, which is deeply unnerving. That's an overreach of power right there that should not be allowed. Frankly, it is disconcerting this was even put on the table at all to begin with.
There's some wording here that I understand why companies would use it, like in work contracts and things. Like, what was it? The thing was, given in confidence, for example. I get that. A lot of work contracts have NDAs like that because you'll see shit that's secret in your company, even if it's just the password.
First off, I have to say, what is like in a standard work contract should not be in. Actually, if this is in the legal document, that is like a huge red flag that this was just written up by a corporation and given to a specific lawmaker to be put on the table and voted in. That is actually deeply worrying.
That's what my point is, though. I didn't even finish saying yet.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I was just also going to say, like I said earlier, NDAs. The highly abusive as they are today, there's some reasonable justification for certain things to remain secret and be punishable if you break that. But like they take the piss with it. They go way too far. Like I said, a company treats you like shit. You can't badmouth them, otherwise they will sue you.
Yeah, that part sucks.
It's really bad.
But it makes sense to me that you shouldn't tell your PIN card for your corporate credit card to someone. Or your secret new video game engine idea that will revolutionize how graphics work or whatever. If you invented ray tracing, you cannot go around and say that shit to everybody. That makes sense to me, but not when it's
kind of fair. But like, realistically, how many times are the NDAs enforced that way or enforced in abusive ways?
If you work at a shit company, you'll get fucked in the ass. That's true. But the point is, just because that's a common thing,
majority of major companies like Amazon or Meta or Facebook, we should say, or Apple, are like shit companies that abuse NDAs in this way.
Yeah, so small companies have that. I have that. I work at a company with 80 people in it.
I know, but again, the vast majority of people are
things
affected
in companies. But that being said, this is a government agency. It's literally the Data Protection Commission.
Yeah,
you cannot be a government entity. Like the vast majority of things that the government does should be visible to the public.
For obvious reasons, that just the state, just so people can be informed and make accurate decisions about like how they want to vote.
This is not like safety related. This is not like nuclear launch codes or some shit. This is not military tech. This is not like leaking the addresses of like developers at Facebook. No, this is just protecting companies from fucking around.
And again, a lot of these terms are like super vague in law themselves. Like in these worker contracts, there'll probably be more specific terms for this, but just having these vague statements in the law themselves, these vague terms, they're going to get applied to just basically anything and everything to completely muzzle out any criticism or complaint from any media organization or large public figure. It's like incredibly disheartening, worrying, and dare I say, there needs to be laws on the books that like basically ban you from serving in public office if you just basically hand and parcel just take legislation from a company and submit it onto the floor of whatever public body you are part of. That needs to be outlawed and have you banned from serving in public office for that. Because it's just so destructive to society as a whole. Nothing ever good happens when this happens. In America and Ireland, I'm thinking back to small towns that can't make their own private infrastructure because like some state house representative just got paid to put on the floor. Oh yeah, no town or municipality can make its own internet infrastructure. And they have to like specifically vote to overturn it. It's bad. It's always bad. It always hurts people. It's always like somebody's been given a bunch of money by big companies to help big companies make more money. It really feels like something that should be illegal 20 years ago, let alone today.
Just try to quickly find out who is like running Ireland right now. Very different from how it's set up in Germany. That's not a quick thing to look up if you don't know how that works.
Yeah, I really should start paying more attention and start getting invested in Irish politics as well as American
and then
ones.
Also, if you look at, who is this? If you just look at the names of these parties, like the Republican Party, that is not going to be the same as the Republican Party in the US. Very likely. Words have different meanings in different countries.
Yeah.
So you'd have to actually look into these a bit more to explain what's going on. But I have no idea. There's so many words in fucking Gaelic. I assume that I don't even know what they mean.
Yeah, that is a problem. That is a problem.
Why is that a problem? I don't need to understand your politics.
No, like a lot of Irish people don't speak Irish. It's an issue.
Okay, then get good.
The majority of like Irish people barely remember anything about Gaelic after they leave like secondary school. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to see the stat for that now. Okay. In the whole world, there are estimated 1.2 million speakers of the Irish language.
I dare say that is.
And only about 170,000 speak it as their first language. Holy shit. And how many people are there? 4?
Well, hold on. I just Googled this. What's it? The population of the Republic of Ireland was predicted to be 5.1 million in 2021, according to CSO. Irish is the main domestic worker community language for approximately 2% of the population in Ireland.
And that sucks. That's not cool.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. I hope you had a fantastic time. Be sure to hit that like button on YouTube and leave a comment. The bell and sub button as well if you haven't already. And for those listening on the podcast, be sure to rate us 5 stars. Leave us a comment if that's available, or email us. We appreciate it all and want to read it out on stream.
Send a boost!
I'll be starting Dark Souls 2 soon. Follow the link trees as well as for the podcast and ourselves personally on our platforms. Thank you very much. Time to say ta-ta, auf Wiedersehen, until we meet again. Bye-bye, my pretties. Bounce stack. Bunch of twigs going up and down. I appreciate that.
They're getting less by.
Well, you never know. You never know. They can swing both ways and things just happen that way.
Are there female twigs? I don't think so, but that'd be funny.
It's not them getting less bi just because they're having sex with guys. That's biphobic there, Silas. Surprising coming from bi man yourself.
That's not how I meant it. That's not what I said.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Sexual.